Well, hello ladies and gentlemen. So today I'm going to make a bit of a different video. And this video is about the steps that I took to at least feel successful in my mind. You know, I may not be successful in other people's view, but in my view, I feel like I have achieved something in my life. And the reason why I say this is because today I was, ever since I moved here, and gotten all the furniture and everything, I was looking at the receipts. Okay, and I looked at the receipts and the total of how much the furniture and everything costed when I moved here. And I just suddenly reflected back yesterday that just 4 years ago, like between 2008 and 2009, I couldn't even afford a webcam for YouTube. Okay, and from that point on to this point where I have my own place, I'm independent, I have my own family, it just suddenly hit me. I'm like, oh my God, where did I just land it? Especially from where I was. So then I thought, you know what? Maybe I should just tell you the principles that I've used to get to where I am. Now, I may not be there next year. I may not be there in 2 years. Things could happen, or I could go even higher. But the thing is, in this moment, in now, I am independent. I did everything through my own effort, and I am, in the most blissful state of mind that anyone could be right now. So, and these steps have nothing to do with astrology, even though this is an astrology channel, and if you're new here, I teach Vedic astrology on this channel, the most ancient form of astrology. But, I never use those principles. The principles that I've used are universal principles that anybody can use, whether you hate astrology or whether you love astrology. Okay? So these are the 7 steps that I use to get to where I am. So the very first step is find yourself and make a decision. The very first step is make a decision. Make a decision on who you are and what you're going to do. See, when you're confused, I don't know what to do in life, when you're 35, 40, 25, whatever age, there's no way you're going to be becoming a millionaire from that. There's no way you're going to be becoming financially independent or about, your life. So make a decision. Just make it and stick with it. But how do you find that? How do you find what your purpose is without ever using an astrology? Because not most of people who will watch this may not believe in those things. But the way I did this is I used the approach of Tony Deutsch. If you guys watch CNBC, especially in the United States, there was this show called Tony Deutsch. And he used to invite self-made millionaires. And I used to love that show, how these people made from rag to riches. And of course, I'm no millionaire, I'm no billionaire. But, I'm just independent now, especially from where I came. And so the one thing that I learned from that is that fill a gap. Fill a service that you wish you could have right now, yet there's nothing out there like this. And you become that pothole. You fill that pothole to provide that service. That's exactly what I did. When I was learning astrology 10 years ago, I used to look for not just planets through signs or planets through houses. I used to look for planets in nakshatra, planets in this sign in this house, Saturn in this sign and that house, Venus in this sign in that house. And no one really had that meaning. There wasn't, and every single website that I saw literally were like copying from one person to the other. They're all copying each other and just giving a very basic mundane meaning, which once I started learning from people, my uncle, I found that that's not really, there's a lot more to just these mundane paragraph meaning. And so in 2009, when YouTube came along and I made my first couple of videos from webcam, which you can see if you go back into my channel, I saw that, oh my God, I'm getting responses. I'm getting people, actually thanking like, wow, thanks for this knowledge. And then suddenly I had an epiphany. I'm like, I'm going to fill that gap. I'm going to fill that gap of every single thing that you need to know in Vedic astrology, whether it takes me 6 years, 10 years, I'm going to do that. I'm going to fill that gap of somebody who was in my shoes or is in my shoes and looking what exactly is Saturn. What does Saturn mean in the sign of Aries? What does Saturn mean in the sign of Aquarius? What is the ins and outs of it? And not just the things that you see on the internet, but the things that I've learned from gurus and people that have come across my life. So I filled that gap and suddenly things started manifesting. I became a YouTube partner, I wrote a book, and through those avenues, I am able to make this life of myself. But you know why I made this life of myself? Because I provided a service. I provided a service from that idea of Donny Deutsch that I filled that gap of Vedic astrology. I made this thing fun again. I made Vedic astrology interesting again. I made some non-believers into believers of Vedic astrology. And I continue to do that. This is not the end. There's literally like 3,000 videos that I have to make just so you can get the grasp of entire astrology. So you have a long way to go. But I love it that I'm slowly filling that gap. So that's the very first step, is that know who you are. And if you don't, find something that you're passionate about, yet find a service that nobody else is giving and give that service. This is the thing. Find a purpose with your life, because when you're on your deathbed, you want to look back in your life and not just think, oh yeah, I was some computer engineer in a cubicle writing some software. No, be a computer engineer, but be a computer engineer, software engineer who made a difference through the code that he wrote and just wasn't lost. If you have made an app, put that app out there on Apple Store or Google Store and find people who have used your app. Find how did it change their life? If it didn't change your life, go back into your computer room, go back into your garage, write that code, write that app that really will change something in somebody else's life. So when I see these emails from people that, oh my God, I hated astrology, but when I came to your channel, when I read your book, astrology has literally now have a new meaning in my life. That's what keeps me going. That's what keeps me motivated 2 o'clock in the morning, writing my next books, because I want to provide this service that not too many people were providing, and most astrologers were hiding from other people. Then the next step is live in now to take action. Live in now to take action. Why is this important? And this is something I learned through the process, through books, through people, through lectures, that when we are motivated about something, when we are finally make that decision that, okay, I'm going to provide this service, and you're taking that action gets impacted because you're either thinking of the failures in your past or you're thinking of the dire future that is going to come while you're providing the service. And that what brings that energy into you. That's what brings your conscious being. I believe you're a conscious being. Like Deepak Chopra says, you're this conscious being in this physical suit. And whatever you manifest, you have attracted through this. So when we are taking action, when you're motivated and you're like, okay, I'm going to provide the service, but then suddenly you feel like while taking that action, you're worried. What if this happens? What if that happens? What if my product fails? What if people criticize me? What if people give me bad reviews? What if this happens? And then suddenly your motivation and the juice that was going to go in your action settles down. It's much less than what it should be. This is why live in now, live in this moment that I'm here. I don't know anybody, I don't know anything in this universe except this action that I'm taking to provide the service. Once you do that, that is the way you are going to perceive with the most positive energy into your action. So whenever you take that action regarding changing something in society, filling that pothole, don't think of the past and future, because you're going to drive those two energies into your current action. So don't do that. That was step number 2 that I changed in my life. My third step is work beyond your ability. If you feel that your maximum power is working 9 hours consistently on something, go beyond it. Work 14 hours, work 15 hours, go beyond it. Because you know what? It's like When you are doing bench press in a gym, everybody has a sets of 10. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then 7, you're getting tired. 8, you're really getting tired. 9, you're getting tired. And 10, you're just like giving up. But you know when you really start building muscles is when you go for that 11th bench press, 12, 13, 14, because that first 10, your muscles are getting used to it. And after that, they're starting to get more retention in there, starting to get more water in there so they get big. Same thing with your work effort. If you feel like your ninth hour at work or 9th hour working on your business is that stretch, you better know that's just a start. You have to stretch it out a bit more. When I was writing my books, when I make my videos, when I was learning astrology pretty much, I dove into that thing 24/7. I was working in a corporate world, yet I was on the computer, on the computer looking for astrological knowledge. When I would come back, I would call my uncle and I would be in a conversation with him for hours because I loved it. I was so passionate about it. I was a filmmaker before, an actor, but I suddenly realized that even though that didn't work out, but this passion of mine took over that passion. Otherwise, I would still be in there. And I could very well be still in there. Could make a movie. I could go into acting. That's my passion. But when I felt like I'm providing a service, that feeling just takes over you. That, wow, somebody thanked me for this stupid webcam video that I made from my beaten down room. That's a powerful feeling. So I worked beyond my ability. I was up till 3 a.m. And not to mention, I attracted people who gave me more knowledge. I attracted all these gurus that you see on my YouTube channel and more by looking at their articles, looking at their studies, looking at their knowledge, applying it into my own life and people around me, and then grasping more knowledge. So I worked beyond what I was just taught by my uncle. I went beyond my ability, I let go of my ego and embraced other people and their knowledge. I'm like, what do you know about astrology? Tell me. What do you know about astrology? Tell me. And I learned more and more and more, and I grew more. So work beyond your ability is number 3 most important step. My 4th step is a psychological step. Is that in downtime, look at the bigger picture about making a difference in society. And this will only happen once you know who you are, once you have made that decision. That's step number 1. Because I go through days when I'm depressed. I go through days when I feel like, man, I don't want to make a movie. Maybe it's a cloudy day and I'm not getting the serotonin in my brain, or something has happened and I'm just like feeling down, private problems, family problems. But then I look at the bigger picture. I'm like, why am I making these videos? Why am I writing this book? I look at that picture. I go back into time, just maybe a week ago when I received that email from my website thanking me that you have seriously made a difference in my life. I finally found the real meaning of my planetary alignment. You are making the biggest difference in the world of Vedic astrology. Those quotations that I receive, whether in my Facebook or my private email, I'm like, you know what? No matter what day I'm having, when I'm producing this video, when I am writing my book, I am seriously making a difference. It's not like I have some comedy show on Kara's channel, even though I try to do comedy as well and make astrology interesting and entertaining. But I really feel like that when I'm on my deathbed, I'll be like, I filled that gap. It's like I literally want to make that quotation. I filled that gap. I'm filling that gap that people wish they would have somebody providing this knowledge to them and not even charging them arm and a leg. All you have to do is just get on YouTube and watch the video, and that's what fulfills me. So in my downtime, you want to look for these things. And these things, these quotations, these emails from people, these praises from people will only come first once you are passionate about what you do and you know who you are and you're filling that service. People will automatically know. People will know whether, of course, I'm in a way a public figure and I see all these emails that you're a scammer, you're scamming people, you're deluding people from this witchcraft knowledge, whatever. It's like I don't even let that get through me. But, I look at the fact that I am providing a service. This is a service I'm providing. I'm not out there scamming people. People will see right through you when you're either providing a service full of scam, or when you're genuinely providing a service. Because you know why? Because people look at these alignments. People look at the video and go back into their charts and see, I'm like, okay, yeah, you're right. This is what's happening. And you're going to see more and more when I go deeper into this. So it's a service that I provide. When you provide a service, automatically people will appraise you. People will automatically come to you and say, wow, thanks for making this video on this makeup, that you reviewed, because you really saved me. I was having skin problems too, but your advice really saved me. Thank you. And then in your downtime, you'll go back to that email. You'll be like, wow, you know what? Let's get up. Let's work. Let's write that blog on that makeup product, or whatever product you're reviewing, or whatever you're doing as your passion. So give a service and you will get that automatic praise back that will lift you up in downtime. My fifth most important step is to market yourself anyway, anyhow. Because let's say if I found myself, I knew what I'm doing, I'm providing the service, I'm filling the pothole. But if my pothole is being looked at by only one person, that's not really going to motivate you to go the next day and provide another service. The way you will be motivated as a human being, being a common thinking human being, the way we motivate ourselves is when we have enough people coming to us for service. Market yourself. I don't care if you are looking for a job. If you are passionate about writing that computer code and you're looking for that corporation to hire you, you know what? Make a sign, put it on yourself, go in front of the corporation and understand, I want to get hired. And maybe, who knows, a newscast will come, a news van will come and say, oh, look at this guy. He so desperately wants a job. He's putting a sign in front of the corporation. You go to a fair, let's say you want a job and you want to work for this company and you're an attorney and you're not getting a job as an attorney. Instead of going to a booth, make a booth. Say, I'm an attorney, hire me. These are my qualifications, sit on the booth. See how different that is. See how unique that is, the way you're marketing yourself. So if there's a law firm who is looking for people and people are standing in line where you have your booth as an employee wanting to be hired, they'll be like, man, this guy is creative, this guy is unique. Because now you marketed yourself to the world. You told the world, hey, this is me. Look at me. I got service. And the world will come, stick with you, and come to your service over and over again, only if they know you're providing a genuine service. Only when people know that, yeah, this guy really is teaching the real methods of astrology and not just saying some stuff, that mundane stuff that is out on the internet anyway, they're like, okay, this resonates with me. This is exactly who I am. Wow, let me subscribe to your channel. Let me get your book. Let me learn more. I can't wait for your video. Like, I always get emails, hey, when are you uploading this video? When are you uploading that video? I'm waiting for it. Why? Because I provide a service which is genuine. Sure, you may be hating astrology and you think it's a pseudoscience and you're still scamming people. Hey man, if you haven't looked at your stuff, fine, you can criticize me, but I know what I'm doing. I know I'm providing that service. So market yourself. Without marketing, no product will be out there becoming that brand. No, from Coca-Cola to, any celebrity to nothing. Even this cell phone wouldn't be with me if it wasn't marketed to me, if I didn't see it in a commercial. So market yourself anyway, anyhow. I don't care what you do. If you start a business, make sure your major budget is about the marketing. Without marketing, people will not know who you are. Now, that sixth step is probably the most important, just as equivalent to number one, and is the most unique step to success that I don't think anybody has said whenever they talk about success and 7th step to success or 10th step to success. And this is not only a psychological step, but it's a metaphysical step, it's a physical step, it's a step based on laws of universe. And that is, don't cheapen yourself. Don't live in a cheap environment, don't live in a cheap psychological state. What do I mean by this? Is that when you don't have money and you get a little bit of money, you would be so proud if you go to a thrift store and buy used clothes. So instead of buying that $30 dress, you find a dress for $2 and you buy it and you're like, yes, look at me. I had actually found a good clothes for cheap. You go out and you buy used electronics. You go out, you buy used car or very old car, and because you didn't want to spend so much money, you get that cheap product. You know what you're doing? You're attracting used cheap energy in your life, and you're telling the universe that only give me cheap things in life. I don't want the brand names. I don't want the expensive things. And it's like when you go buy a wallet or a purse, you'll go get the cheapest purse out there. If you go to a store, you'll see, one is $19.99, this one is $5.99. It's a bad material anyway. Hey, I'll just spend this much. Psychologically, you're telling the universe, give me used stuff. I learned this through a very special guru of mine. And maybe I'll tell you one day his name, but he wants to be a bit secretive. He said that instead of buying 15 cheap things, buy one good thing. Instead of having like 10 suits for your work that you bought for like $60 at some cheap flea market, go out and buy one suit for equivalent of that $15 suit price. So instead of buying a $50 suit, go buy a $300 name brand suit, because when you wear that and when you go to a job, your aura, your psychological state will be completely different versus you wearing some cheap suit. When you put money in your wallet, money is an energy. You are storing that energy, okay, your cash money or your credit card, which has your money energy in it. You're storing that. You're telling the universe, look, I'm putting this in a very cheap spot. So then universe, what it does, he doesn't need that money. Look, he's using cheap stuff. Let me just give him enough so he can just keep buying cheap stuff. But when you tell the universe, I am buying that Kenneth Cole, that Ralph Lauren wallet or Ralph Lauren purse, I'm buying that Prada purse, you're telling the universe, no, I need something more valuable to put into this purse. And psychologically, when you as a woman holding that purse, or when you as a guy putting that real name brand purse or wearing that name brand suit, you are feeling different. You're feeling like $1 million. You feel like, wow, I am someone. And you demand respect. You automatically demand something valuable from other people. So then universe starts giving you things. So instead of you go buying that used cell phone or that cheap thing, or you go buying 10 clothes at a cheap department store, buy that one dress and you see how your psychology changes. And from that, you see how slowly universe starts giving you more. It's a secret, and this is a workable secret. This is no bullshit secret. This is nothing to lift you up for like 5 minutes so you can go back and buy cheap things. Try it, do it, and I'm telling you, it works. Once I started applying this, actually this is, after my first step, this was the 6th step that I can truly say, when I started applying this, things started changing. Instead of me buying like cheap shorts, I started saying, you know what, let me go buy Nautica or Ralph Lauren shorts. Let me go buy some name brand shorts. And when I wore that, I felt different and things just started happening slowly. So don't go buy used, especially when you buy used clothes. Even if you wash them, I don't care you wash them with acid, you are still having that energy and aura of that other person putting upon you. So if that person was abused, if that person used drugs, if that person was resentful against other people, if that person has more cheaper ambitions than you, you're bringing that upon yourself. So if you have any used clothes, used things, man, do not put them on. Get one good pair of clothes. Instead of buying 20 clothes, buy 5 good ones. And slowly start to build yourself up. That no, I do not demand cheap things from you, universe. I need the best. I don't want to use that webcam anymore. I want the best camera out there. So now I have, just my camera itself is worth $2,000, the body. Then I bought a lens for $1,500. So I'm like, no, I'm not going to go cheap. If I'm going to go and make a YouTube video, I'm going to make the best goddamn YouTube video out there. Okay? So this is very important for you to know that, hey, I'm not cheap, and neither I want to attract cheap in my life. Seventh step is the easiest step in the world. Let the universe open the door for you. And universe will. There's no ins and out about it. Let the universe open the door for you. And how does universe opens the door and comes together to give you what you want? When you follow the first 6 steps. You follow the first 6 steps. The 7th step is an automatic. You don't have to work for the 7th step. Universe will bring you opportunities. Universe will make you who you are. Think who you are and you will become that person. And universe will give you opportunities that you demand. Now, there will be down times. We cannot constantly think positive. So if it's like Disney. When Disney was bankrupt twice in his life, he went up, went down, went up, went down, and then he finally created the Disneyland that you see, which is worldwide famous. It's a billion dollar industry. But a successful person will go up, fail. Steve Jobs created a $50 million company, Apple, back in the 80s, was dropped to nothing. His next, he started, failed. Okay? Then he came back as the Apple CEO and made it again. Successful people will go down, but if you have those first 6 principles, the 7th principle will always come back to help you. So guys, this is my steps that I've taken and I still take and will continue to take, no matter if I fail next time or not fail, I'll continue to take these steps in my life to be where I am and to be where I want to be. And I hope you apply these steps because these are the most realistic steps. I am no some motivational speaker who goes out and redundantly says these things. This is the first time I'm making this video, and I'm the most realistic example of success because I don't have a parked Ferrari in my background just to motivate you, but I'm giving you a realistic perspective of living an independent life, having money in the bank, and doing what you love doing day in and day out. I don't have to be stuck on the freeway. My office, my work is right there next door. Because this is what I always wanted. I always wanted to work from home. This was my dream for the past 10 years. And it finally came true. But I will, no matter what happens in the future, I will always strive for these steps. Alright, so guys, if you're new to my channel and if you think the stuff that I told you is a bit valuable to you, subscribe below. And if you want to learn about astrology and the true astrology and know that it's not a pseudoscience, it's actually a physical, metaphysical, mathematical science, check out the links below. Check out my books there, my website's there, and hopefully that will help. Otherwise, we'll see you tomorrow with my continuation of astrology videos. Bye-bye.